Hi everybody, I'm Connie Stewart with SimplySimpleStamping.com. I'm so glad you guys could stop by today. We've got a great flashcard video for you today. Now, what is very unique about today's video? We're going to start with a very clean and simple card, very easy card. Throughout the video, we're going to take it and we're going to step it up a notch. And we're going to step it up another notch and another and another. I don't even know how many. I actually lost count. We're going to see how far we can step it up just by adding some different textures, some different embellishments, and we're going to see how many we can come up with. Guys, it's such a simple, pretty card. I am very excited to share all of these with you. So we're going to head over to the stamp table and get started. Let's go ahead and go over the cardstock you need to create today's flashcard. My card base is in soft seafoam, and I have this cut at 4 1/4 by 11 inches, and I have that scored at 2 3/4 and 5 1/2. Let me show you. It's going to make kind of a nice little accordion fold. My flashcard pieces are in Very Vanilla and Blushing Bride. Very Vanilla, 2 1/2 inches by 4 inches, and Blushing Bride, 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. We're keeping it easy today, guys. 2 ink pads, Blushing Bride and Pear Pizzazz. The star of the show today is the Forever Lovely stamp set. This is a fabulous one. You're going to love the detail that stamps in these flowers. By the way, you can find this stamp set on page 81 of the 2019-2020 annual catalog. And this one also has a set of dies that matches, and you can find that on page 194. But if you don't have the dies, not to worry. Today's card, I have some to show you with the dies and some without. So the first version of the card today is going to be my super simple version. So I'm going to take the sentiment, wishing you a lovely day. I'm going to stamp that right in the middle of that Very Vanilla cardstock. I'll now come in with Blushing Bride, and I'm going to take that great big flower. This is where I mentioned at the beginning, this great built-in texture. Isn't it so pretty? And I'm just going to stamp those flowers around my sentiment, and I'm going to stamp 3, and so let me get one more right there. That's just going to kind of give me just a nice focal image for my sentiment. I'm going to come back in with that Pear Pizzazz and the little leaf, and let me show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to stamp the leaf once, and I'm not going to re-ink and stamp again. Let me do that on a few of these. So stamp once, stamp again. It just kind of fills in a little bit. I like how it looks. And there we go. Our stamping's done. Now, there's going to be a few different ways we can work with this single flashcard. So let's start with the first one, which is just an obvious. We're just going to adhere that to the Blushing Bride. And now we're just going to adhere it onto the panel. Now you notice we don't want adhesive on this side. So we're going to need to make sure we're only putting our adhesive here. And I can center that up in my card. And there we go. Simple, simple, right? Clean and simple flashcard. Now let's take it up a little bit. I've got a bow created from the gold metallic edge ribbon. Guys, we could just add that there, and look how much that steps up the card. So just a simple little embellishment can take it from just a clean and simple to something just a little more over the top. Now, what if you wanted to add just a little more splash of color? I could take the Blushing Bride and I could adhere it to the right-hand side, and then I can just put my sentiment right there, and that gives it another very different look. Another way, still very clean and simple. And of course, we can add a bow. Look how much that dresses it up. But that's another way to just add a little more color blocking. Let's take it up again, and we're going to bring in the Country Floral Embossing folder. Guys, this is one of the 3D embossing folders, and let me show you. Look at the detail. Oh my gosh, can you just see the depth in that cardstock? So just like I showed you before, we could add a little more texture to that cardstock. And now look at my card. Again, now we've got the color blocking and we've added some great texture. That's beautiful. But I mentioned the die set. So let me bring in one of the dies and I'm going to show you a really fun way to dress up our sentiment on the front. I'm going to take my die and you notice there's a flat side and then of course we've got our kind of jaggedy side. We want the flat side down at the bottom. That is important because this is going to cut and this up here is going to emboss. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line that up down at the bottom. You know, so I've just got it centered. I wanted to make sure I got that great big rose. I thought that one was awfully pretty. Let's run that through our die cutting machine and we're going to get this. So as I mentioned, the bottom actually is going to cut where, oh, I don't know if you can see it. We have some great little detailed embossing that happened when we did the die cutting. Now let's stamp this one. And my stamping is done just identical to what I did. Of course, you can see my sentiment, and I just added my 3 flowers down here just on the bottom right side and my leaves as well. Now, what we're gonna do with this? You remember our simplified version, so there would be the simple version of the card. We can add the bow, which you see dresses it up a little more. We could keep the cardstock plain on the right side. Or we could emboss it and then of course adding the bow to dress that up. All right, that's a lot of cards, a lot of different options. I do love this embossing. Let's take it up one more notch. And for this, I'm going to come in with a second flashcard. So I've got a Very Vanilla and another Blushing Bride. So this one you can see I just stamped here in the corners and I'm going to add that here to the left side of my card. You see it's going to be hidden. And just like you saw me do before, I could keep that plain or I could add the embossed cardstock. Then I could go with my plainer version. Remember that was that first one, the very simplified version. Here I've taken my detailed version of my focal image. Again, you can keep this embossed or plain, but I think that looks so pretty when you open the card up and you see that nice little stamped image. Here's another option that is really fun. So I stamped up in one corner and then I stamped down here in the bottom right corner. And you see that just extends the space that I have to write. Now, again here, well, you know, we can go embossed or we can keep it plain, whichever makes you happy. And of course, adding that ribbon definitely takes it up to an over-the-top wow. So many options and all done with those 2 little pieces of cardstock. There you go. So whether you want to keep things nice and simple, nice and clean, you can do that. But if you want to go over the top wow with dry embossing and using your dies and adding ribbon, maybe some additional on the inside. But remember, we had everything in between as well. Surely you can find one of these flashcards that is going to be perfect for your stamping style. Oh my gosh, all those cards. 17. Can you believe it? We came up with 17 different options, just changing things up. Whether you want to use the dies, you want to leave them out. Whether you want to add an additional flashcard piece, or you're really happy with the clean and simple. Like I said, somewhere in between, I think you're going to find a card that's going to inspire you, one that you're going to want to create. Hey, if you want more information about the cards, maybe perhaps you're ready to order those dies and the Forever Lovely stamp set, let me tell you where you can find information on that. If you'll head over to simplysimplestamping.com and look for the December 19th, 2019 blog post, I'll have all the details for you there. That's where I'll have pictures of the cards and all the details, your measurements, and of course where you can get the supplies so you can create the cards yourselves. Guys, it's so easy. Just click a pic. That's going to take you right to my online store and you can order what you need right there. Before I close out the video, I do want to let you know there is another option for you available for flashcards. I know many of you are not real keen on cutting, and I have available for you flashcards to go. This is where all your cardstock is cut and scored. You'll have the flashcard pieces and flashcard 2.0 pieces. Everything that you need so that you can create 40 cards in a flash. You're going to have the envelopes as well, so you're going to be ready to send those cards after you make them. What's great about flashcards to go is I'll supply all the icky cutting part, you just supply the creativity. If you look in the blue menu bar at simplysimplestamping.com, that's where you're going to see flashcards, and you can order your favorite color family or go hog wild and get them all. There you go. I hope that you were inspired by the cards today. If you were, would you give me a thumbs up on YouTube? I always appreciate that. And if you haven't taken the time to subscribe to my channel, why not do it today? Just click that great big red subscribe button, and by doing that, YouTube will let you know whenever I'm back with a new video, and I would love to have you as a subscriber. All right, my friends, thank you so much again for being here for today's flashcard. Make it a great day. We'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.